Welcome back to Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. I'm personal financial planner, columnist, and financial therapist Rick Kahler. Research tells us that 90% of all financial decisions are made emotionally, not logically. For nearly 4 decades, I've been helping people make better money decisions. So what makes my financial worldview different from most financial experts? I blend the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Good money decisions are not just about the money. So let's get started with today's episode. Welcome back to another edition. Today I want to tackle the topic of money scripts, but not necessarily going through how money scripts are developed and what they are and etc. like that. I've done that on other episodes. But I want to address some misunderstandings, errors that continually appear in financial life planning circles and financial therapy circles that I've been aware of for some time, but I've just never addressed. And it kind of was spurred by a situation recently when I was approached by a financial professional, and he asked me, "Rick, what's your money script?" I was kind of baffled by this, and I responded, "Well, I have probably over 100 money scripts. I don't have just one." And he kind of looked puzzled, and he says, "No, there are only 4 money scripts, and I was wondering which one is yours." Well, that kind of took my breath away a little bit, and it was obvious he didn't understand the concept of money scripts. In the 20 years since we first coined or developed the concept of money scripts, which I think was around 2004, I've never found anyone in the hundreds of workshops I've done and helped people discover their money scripts. I've never found anyone that had 1, even 5, 10, or 20. Typically, there are many more than that. So, while I'm heartened that the concept of money scripts has become really widely embraced by the financial therapy, the financial life planning, the communities, and the financial media, since they were developed, the concepts were developed in 2004 and first published in Conscious Finance in 2005. And about that time was when Dr. Ted Klontz and I developed the on-site workshops that ran, I don't know when they exactly first started, maybe between 2005 and 2009. And in those workshops, we found that the average person had 50 to 200 money scripts, not 4 or 10 or 32 or 72. And those last numbers I'll bring into focus here in a minute. So I have, let me give you the further development of this. So in 2011, in research published in the Journal of Financial Therapy, that was in volume 2, which was in its early days, Brad, Sonia Britt, Ted Klontz were part of the team that wrote Money Beliefs and Financial Behaviors and the development of the Klontz Money Script Inventory, which is the KMSI that I've talked about a lot. And in that research, they identified 4 distinct money belief patterns or categories, which Brad later referred to them as in the revision of Facilitating Financial Health in 2016. And these 4 categories are money avoidance, money worship, money status, and money vigilance. And if you want to know more about these, you can look back in the podcast. I think I did 4 podcasts on each of those 4 categories. So that was the result of their research, is that all money scripts fit into these 4 categories. And he and his authors basically boiled down, the number of money scripts are unlimited, right? Money scripts can be very personalized, but they came up with 72 commonly heard money scripts. And they developed those 72 commonly heard money scripts into a 72 question evaluation. And that evaluation, the KMSI, would help an individual, can be taken personally or given to clients, to determine the ranking of their most dominant money script categories down to their least problematic categories. And so it was a very quick way to do this. When we first started doing this at the on-site workshops, it would take us probably an hour to help a person come up with all the money scripts that they could think of. And I would do that in my practice. And quite frankly, I was a little bit bored while my clients are in doing their money script work. And I thought, there's got to be a quicker way to do this. And Brad came up with this evaluation, which reduced it to, maybe 20 minutes. And it was pretty effective. So Brad then refined the KMSI, revised it, and reduced it to 32 questions in, I think it was 2016. And that was also printed in the Journal of Financial Therapy and authored by Taylor, Klontz, and Sonia Britt. It was called Reliability and Convergent Validity of the Klontz Money Script Inventory Revised. So basically that revised the evaluation, fine-tuned it, made it a little more accurate, and cut it down to almost, in less than half, to 32 questions. And now you can take this in 10 minutes. And this is the current version I use when I've referred to the KMSI. It's always been -R, revised. All right. So, sorry about the history lesson, but it's all necessary background to understand the misunderstanding about money scripts that has, I think it started in 2011, and it's just kind of been parroted and repeated. It's something like political talking points, where you can hear the same talking points reiterated over and over by a half a dozen different broadcast media channels, and sometimes in scores of printed material. And they build on one source and just repeat it. And the error is compounded. So I think the first time I can find this error that I'm referring to was in Psychology Today, in a 2011 article written by Ken Isold. He's a PhD. And the headline, the title of the article was The Four Money Scripts. And in the article, Dr. Isold penned a line that was clearly a misunderstanding. He said that Brad Klontz calls them money scripts: money avoidance, money worship, money status, and money vigilance. Well, this is clearly incorrect. Brad refers to them in his research as belief patterns, subscales, and as I said in the second edition of Facilitating Financial Health, as categories. There are not 4 money scripts. And this might sound like a little deal, but it's not a little deal when you put it in the context of what a money script is, because we know all money scripts are both true and false. You know, money worship isn't true or false. It's a category that you put a whole bunch of money scripts. A whole bunch of money scripts can kind of fit under that title, and the money scripts are both true and false, given the situation. They're contextual. So it was sure just a misunderstanding on the part of Dr. Isold. So since then, this keeps popping up. And many articles have parroted this misunderstanding. And I recently came across 2 recent articles. The one that really brought this back to me was written in Money Sense, and the title was "What Are Your Money Scripts?" or "What Are Money Scripts and What Are Yours?" by Sean Maslick, who's a great podcaster, spoke at the FTA last year and did just a great job. This appeared in the March 31st, 2023 edition. Then there's another one that appeared last year in FinMasters, and it was entitled Money Scripts: Understanding Your Relationship with Money by Adina Lazar, and it was updated on October 5th, 2020. And in both of them, they come down to the idea that there are 4 main money scripts. I'm reading out of the one in Money Sense. Well, no, there's 4 main categories of money scripts. And the same thing appeared in the 2022 article, The 4 Money Scripts. Well, money avoidance, money worship, money status, and money vigilant are not money scripts. They are categories. So this can just lead to a lot of misunderstanding. Now, I thought I'd put this into the popular app Chat GPT. And it erroneously says that most individuals have 4 to 10 money scripts, which first appeared in Facilitating Financial Health. Okay, I know something about that book. I was a co-author. In the 6th chapter of Facilitating Financial Health, the second edition, and my co-authors were Ted Klontz and Brad, it refers to the 4 categories of money scripts and the 10 most popular money scripts. So the artificial intelligence concludes from that there are 4 to 10 money scripts. And it doesn't get that even the original KMSI used 72 of the most popular money scripts. And the 10 most popular money scripts also appeared in Rewiring Wealth, which was published, I think, in 2009 by the 3 of us. So this is a misunderstanding that really needs to be cleared up in academia. And I don't know how many academics are part of this. It tends to be the popular press. And it, like I said, I think it all stemmed from that very first article in Psychology Today, which, is a pretty big platform. Probably of everything that I've seen, that would be one of the most respected references. I mean, if Psychology Today says it, it's probably toward the side of being accurate. So hopefully this can go a long way just to clarifying this for any of you that have come to this understanding and think that there's just 4 money scripts. They are categories. I would be interested in hearing from any of you if this is something you've heard, if this is something that you have come to understand or believe that a money script is. Because it, like I said, it just doesn't seem that it's going away or getting clarified. Another thing that's worth covering that is also a myth is that there are some money script categories are better than others. And this isn't true. There is no one good money script category. Now, this was propagated, again, if we went back to that original article, The 4 Money Scripts, by Isold. He said in, I think, the 4th paragraph, all in all, the best money script to have is money vigilance. Then he went right into a quote by Brad, where he said, people with this disorder do not like to share information. Well, I would probably think Brad would conclude that money script categories aren't necessarily disordered or disorders. The behaviors, we used to refer to 5 financial behaviors that were disordered, and then a bunch of them, let's just say another 8 that were we labeled problematic money behaviors. And the reason that we labeled 5 of them money disorders is that they had some roots in the DSM-5. Well, that was back in 2011, right when, I don't know if it was a movement, but it was a period of time when many therapists and psychologists really didn't want to label their clients with disorders or diagnose. Certainly IFS is a methodology that's in that camp. They run from treating a disorder, treating a diagnosis, and would rather treat the person or be with the person, help the person work out what they need to bring themselves into equilibrium. So we went away from using the word disorder And now I just use problematic financial behaviors. But nevertheless, Brad's framing of this would not suggest this is the best money script to have, which again, it's a category, money vigilance. Now, that could have been a misperception, or what the author could have been saying here is that for building wealth, those that are in the money script category of money vigilance tend to have more money. So if you're viewing it strictly from a bottom line financial lens, I would agree that money vigilant, those with money vigilant money scripts probably have accrued more money. Now, you could maybe argue a little bit that there's folks in the money worship category that have amassed incredible amount of wealth. So I can't limit it to just one. But if I had to pick one, I would pick money vigilance. And in that article, Brad was quoted as saying, maybe some anxiety and vigilance around is good for your bottom line. In other words, the money vigilant person, secretive about their money, they don't want debt, they don't want to talk about their money, they don't want to spend, and I'm saying very general statements here, but they tend toward this. And the key emotion of money vigilance is anxiety. And what Brad says, is maybe having some anxiety and vigilance around your money is a good thing. Well, yeah. To a degree, it probably is. Take a money avoidant person. They could stand to use a little more vigilance. I don't know that they need more anxiety, because I think that's part of their dissociation. I don't want to think about money. Money makes me crazy. I wish it would go away. I'm going to avoid it, right? And I think part of what they're avoiding is the anxiety. So I think that was kind of a statement that the author took a completely different direction than what it was intended. So the downside of money vigilance, of course, is the anxiety. And if we want to take a look at somebody who was extremely money vigilant, I think we could take a look at the character of Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. I think he personifies money vigilance. Did he have money? Oh, yeah, he had money. Did he have anxiety? Oh, yeah, he had anxiety. Did his money support his quest for meaning in life? Absolutely not. He lived in a dark warehouse that had been converted, I guess, to however you'd convert one in 1843. He'd only burn a chunk of coal at a time. It was cold, drafty. He ate gruel, which is what the poorest of the poor ate. He wouldn't spend money on good food. I just in this moment had wondering, I wonder how that poor diet contributed to his emotional health, not in a good way. So his money was pointless. His money did him no good. And that's where the money vigilance really fall down. I told a money vigilant recently that whose income was below the poverty line, who is living in a major city, existing on it, and had accumulated $1 million or so. All right? Clearly a money vigilant. And I suggested to them that ultimately money's function is to be spent. Now that is anathema. Those are fighting words to a money vigilant, because how can I build money if I spend it? Well, it's all in balance. But ultimately, money is to support our quest for meaning in life. I've talked about that a lot. And how does it support our quest for meaning in life? It's got to be spent sensibly, reasonably, with intention, but it's got to be spent. So there's where the money vigilant really comes apart. They may have money, but they're not necessarily, not just enjoying life, they're not purchasing the things that are even, that can help them maintain life. And I've told you of the story of clients I've had that had exposed wires and planks missing in their deck, and cars that were not safe to drive because of the extreme money vigilant beliefs. So I hope that clarifies a few myths on money scripts that are floating around out there, and maybe you can help us squash those misunderstandings when you hear them come up. So thanks for being with me, and I look forward to speaking with you next time. Thanks for joining me, Rick Kahler, for another episode of Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. This is where I combine the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Remember, every financial behavior, whether it appears illogical to you or others, makes perfect sense when we understand the underlying beliefs, feelings, and thoughts. Sign up for my weekly blog at financialawakenings.com. I hope you'll join me again for our next episode.